Hi everyone. So in this session we will execute program 4, that is college database. In this we have 5 tables: student, sem section, class, subject and IA marks. Now if you see the schema which is given here, in the student we have USN, name, address, phone and gender. And in SEM section we have SEM section ID, semester, section, and class it is having USN and SSID. That means this connects student and SEM section. You can see USN and SSID is there in class. Then subject contains subject related information and IA marks for each student in each subject, how much he has scored in test 1, test 2 and test 3, and then final IA, that is the average marks of each subject. Now if we draw the ER diagram, here we can see student is an entity which is having these information as name, USN, address, phone and gender. SEM section, SSID, semester and section. And as I said, student and SEM section are connected or related using class. So this becomes a relationship between student and SEM section. Then student secures IA marks, and IA marks is having these three attributes: marks obtained in test 1, test 2, test 3, and final IA or average we can calculate using these three attributes. That's why this is a derived attribute. And IA marks scored in a particular subject. Okay, so you connect IA marks and subject. And then SEM section and IA marks. Here if you see the schema, here we have a SEM section ID, correct? So that means we need to relate or we need to connect IA marks and SEM section. Okay, so like this you can draw the ER diagram. Then the schema diagram, here student, SEM section, these are the strong entities and they have their own primary keys here, USN and SSID. And as I said, class is a relationship between these two. That's why you need to include a foreign key. Okay, so USN must refer student relation and SSID refers SEM section. And in IA marks we have USN subject code and SSID. So USN refers student, subject code refers subject relation, SSID refers SEM section. Okay, and primary key you need to identify here. In student, USN is the primary key, SEM section SSID is the primary key, it is unique. And in class we need to take both USN and SSID as the primary key. And subject code is a primary key for subject. And in IA marks you can just take USN and subject code. No need to take SSID as the primary key. Okay, it's not a component of a primary key, just you can take USN and subject code. So student, in each subject how much marks he has obtained, that can be stored in IA marks. Now create the table using create table command. Here you can see student table. So USN, we know USN has only 10 characters. So instead of taking varchar, here you can take char. And then name, student name cannot be null. Then address, phone and gender. So gender here I'll represent using single letter, that is male or female means M or F I'll put. So that's why character of 1. Then SEM section, so here SSID we have taken it as character type, like you can write CSC 5A, that is 5th semester of computer science department, like that you can mention the SSID. And then semester, one integer is enough, like 1 2 3 up to 8, like 8 semester, 7 semester, like that we can represent. So I'll take only int of 1. Then section like ABC. Okay, so again character of 1. And in class, so this is a foreign key, right? In the schema diagram you have seen. So you just see what is the data type you have used in the student. The same data type you have to use here. Character of 10. Then SSID, again it is character of 5. So use the same thing. And make these two attributes USN and SSID as primary key. Then comes subject, subject code, then title, semester and credit. Credit means like 3 credit subject or 4 credit subject. So that's why here we'll use the integer type. Then IA marks. So USN subject code, SSID, make sure that the data type must match with the base tables. Okay, and then test 1, test 2, test 3 marks and final IA marks. Here if you want to use decimal you can use, or else you can just put integer. The value which you are calculating, the average value will be rounded off. And the primary key is USN and subject code. Now after creating this table, now you go for adding the foreign keys. So in class, as I said, your USN and SSID are the foreign keys. So add the constraint. And for IA marks, there are 3 foreign keys are there, like USN, SSID and subject code. So add these foreign keys to the tables, class and IA marks table. Now this is the description of each table. The student table, you can see here, student, SEM section and class. Then we have subject and IA marks. Okay, so now insert the values to each table. So I'll just go to the next slide because already we have seen how to insert the values to the tables. So we are inserting the values to student and then SEM section. So you remember, first you have to insert the values to student and SEM section. After that you can insert the values to class or subject. Then you have a IA marks table. Okay, so to that you can insert the values. So inserting the values to class table and then insert into subject. Okay, and remember one more thing here, final IA is a derived attribute. It can be calculated using the marks of test 1, test 2, test 3. So that's why initially you put null values for final IA. Okay, while inserting the values to IA marks, you keep null values for final IA. Now we'll see the queries. Here the first query, that is list all the student details studying in 4th semester C section. Now what information we want here is we need to list the student details. So student details can be obtained by or obtained from student table. But what about the 4th semester C section? That is there in SEM section table. Okay, but there is no common attribute between student and SEM section. That means we need to join using class table. Okay, class relation must be used to relate or to combine or to join student and SEM section. Now I'll show you the execution of this. So I'll go to console now. So first I'll show you all the tables here. So I have class, IA marks, SEM section, student. So that is the view I have already created. I'll show you, I'll tell you why I have created that view later. Then student and subject. Now what is the information we want to retrieve? we have to get the student information who are studying in semester 4 and section C. Okay, so for that first we'll see what all the information we have in student table. So in student I have these many tuples, 6 tuples I have. Then I'll just check with sem section table. Okay, so here they have asked fourth C. Okay, the students information who are in fourth C. So before going to that, we'll see the class table. Here in fourth C, we have 18CS004 and 18CS005. So these students information we have to display. Okay, so for that we'll write select. I will take all the attributes from student table, so that's why we'll write student dot star, then semester and section, just to clarify. Okay, and then from which table? From student. Now I have to join student and class first, and then I'll join that to sem section. See, the attributes are common here. The name of the attributes are common. So I can directly use the natural join. So write student natural join, which one? Class. Okay, and this result, join result, must be joined to sem section. So first it will join based on USN, and this result will be joined with sem section table using SSID. Okay, and what is the condition here? We need to take only for semester 4 and section C. Okay, there are no, I have written sem minus, correct? One second, I'll just change this. Semester equal to C, section equal to C. So you can see these two students 004 and 005, and their details are also included in this result because I have taken student dot star. Okay, student dot star. So that's why it will take all the attributes from student along with sem and section. So this is the first query. Okay, now we'll see the next one. Second query is compute the total number of male and female students in each semester and in each section. Here what is asked is, in each section and each semester we need to find out how many male students are there and female students are there. So for that, first we need to select sem section and gender, and we need to get the count of male and female students. You can write count star also, or write count of gender. And from which table? Again I'll take the natural join of these because I can get the details, gender details from student table, but sem section from semester and section details from sem section table. So what we have to do, using class we have to join these two. Okay, natural join sem section. Now for each, if they ask, then it indicates you need to group. Okay, so group by semester, section, and also you have to see how many male students are there and how many female. So that means you have to group according to gender also. Okay, so write group by SEM, section and gender. And to get the better result or to see the result in better way, we can just use order by class. We'll order this result or order these tuples according to semester attribute. So it shows in 4th A we have one male student and 4th C 1, 4th C uh, one male student, and then 8th A one female and 8th A two males. So this is the result of second query. Okay, now we'll see the next one. The third query is create a view of test 1 marks of student with USN 1BI 15CS 101 in all subjects. Okay, we have to get test 1 marks, only test 1 marks of the students we need to retrieve, and we have to create a view for that, not just showing. We have to create a separate view for view which will give you the details of test 1 marks of student so and so. Okay, so in this again we need to create a view, means that only I have displayed earlier. Like when you write show tables, it is showing stu underscore test one underscore view. So this view I have already created, so I'll just create another view. Okay, create view, this is the syntax, create view, and you have to give the name for this view. Okay, so I'll just write stud underscore view, sorry, test1 underscore view. This is the name. As so what we have to store in this view, how we can define? So we need to write the query, right? So this query must fetch the details of the student, like only test 1 marks we have to fetch. So we'll write select, and in each subject we have to show. So I'll take subject code and test 1, that is the attribute name. I'll rename this as IA marks. Okay, and then sorry, I not IMAX. IMAX is the table name, so I cannot use that as a name. So I'll just come out from this. Again, I'll create a view. So instead of IA marks, I'll just write IA1 marks. Okay, and this information we can get from IA marks table, and the condition is USN equal to some USN they have mentioned, but that USN I don't have, so I'll just mention one of the USN. Okay, and then put semicolon. It says query okay. Now how we can view this? We can write select star from view name. View name is student test 1 view. Okay, there is no details for the student. I'll just check select star from IA marks. Okay, that student information is not there in your IA marks, so we need to change this. So just drop this view. Okay, and create a view again. Here I'll take and condition I'll change here, where USN equal to, we'll take 1 CE 16 CS 001. Okay, now let's start from student test 1 view. So it shows in subject 17 CS 81 he got 16, okay, 16, and in 82 subject 82 15, and in 83 12. Okay, so this is the third query. Now the fourth one, in fourth one it says you need to calculate the final IA and update the corresponding table for all students. See, we have kept null value for final IA, right? So now you have to calculate what is the average. Not just adding and finding the average. Here you have to see what is the best of two test marks we have to take, and average of those marks. Okay, so like that we need to calculate the final IA. So to calculate the final IA, we have to write the procedure. Okay, so how we can write the procedure? So while writing the procedure, actually you will execute some of the commands, SQL commands within the procedure. So default delimiter is semicolon. If you are having a semicolon in your procedure, then you cannot end the procedure using that semicolon, because before ending only you will encounter with the semicolon, so it will come out. So better to change the delimiter first. Okay, so I'll change the delimiter first. So I'll take delimiter as hash. So sorry. So here delimiter is hash, and then you need to write the procedure. The procedure for updating the IA marks. So I'll just show you the procedure here. While creating a procedure, you write create procedure and give the procedure name. This empty parenthesis says you're not passing any parameters to this procedure. Okay, and then the procedure body or the definition must be included within begin and end keywords. Okay, so you need to use begin and end to enclose the procedure body. Then the next step is you have to write the procedure body, that is what it has to do. Here they are asking us to update the final IA. Okay, we need to calculate the average of best two test marks, and after finding we need to update the IA marks table, and there the attribute final IA must be assigned with the average of best two test marks. Okay, so that logic we have to write in the procedure. Okay, so here what it will do, so first we have to write update IA marks, and we are changing or we are updating the final IA attribute. Okay, so set final IA equal to what? Equal to the average of best two test marks. So that can be calculated using this case construct. So here I am using greatest function or the method. So this greatest will return the greatest value among these two. Okay, you can pass more than two values also. So among these values, which one is the greatest? So that will be written by this function. So here we'll check if test 1 and test 2, in these two, which is greatest one. So if that value is not equal to greatest of test 1 and test 3, then add the values, add these greatest values. Okay, among test 1 and test 2, suppose you have 17, 18 and 20, or 18, 19 and 17. So among 18 and 19, 19 is the greatest value, and 19 and 7, sorry, 18 and 20, if we take, 20 is the highest value, so that will be added. Okay, and then similarly you just find out what is the highest value, and after adding the like best two IA marks, you need to find out the average. So that's why divide this by 2. So this will give you the average marks, and that will be assigned to final IA. Okay, now when we need to update this, when final IA is null. Suppose you have inserted 5 tuples and you have already called this procedure, then those 5 tuples will be updated. And later you will add 2 more tuples to this IA marks table. Now when you again call the procedure to calculate the average, then only those 2 tuples must be updated. Okay, that's why we'll put the condition where final IA is null. Okay, here you can see, to end this command, update command, we are specifying, or we write semicolon, right? So when it when it says okay semicolon is there, means it will execute that. Now this is the default delimiter actually. That's why I'll change the delimiter first. Now hash is the delimiter. So even though I get this semicolon, it will not execute this. It will go to the next statement. And then here we have a end statement. That means now this procedure is complete. And then I'll put hash to indicate to execute this entire thing. Okay, when it comes across hash, then it will come out and it will say okay query okay, this entire statement got executed, and it says query okay. Now again change this delimiter back to semicolon. Okay, and okay, our procedure is ready. What is the next step? We need to call this procedure. We need to execute this procedure. For that, we'll use call. Okay, call, and what is the name of this uh, procedure? Call FA, right? Call FA. So you can see 5 rows affected. Why actually it is saying 5 rows affected? Because we have put null values for those 5 tuples, right, in the final IA. So all these 5 rows will get updated with the average marks. You can see here for each tuple we have null value. Now we'll check what is the value we got after executing this procedure. Okay, see here. Now we calculated final IA. Okay, so this is the average marks of the student in each subject. Then the last query is categorize students based on the following criteria. What we have to do here, if the final IA marks, whatever we have calculated just now, we need to compare this final IA. If it is 17 to 20, then we have to say is outstanding in that subject. If it is 12 to 16, average. And if it is less than 12, then weak. and these grading we have to give only for 8th semester ABC section students. Okay, only for these students we have to show. So here we'll use case construct. Sorry. So we'll use case construct here. Select USN, name, subject code and final IA. And you can see how to write the case construct here. So case when final IA is between 17 and 20, then outstanding. If it is 12 to 16, average, otherwise weak. And this statement, the case construct, it is included in the select clause itself. You can see this is a continuation of select clause. We have to display USN, name, subject code, final IA, and then category. Okay, so like that it has to display. So that means category is one of the column when you are displaying the result. Okay, because of that we are including this case construct in the select clause. Now these information we can get from student, IA marks and SEM section. So take the natural join of these three. And what is the condition? We are grading only for semester 8 and who are in ABC section. Okay, we have not given BC section here, only A is there, but according to query we have to include this condition. Okay, so section is in A or B or C. Okay, so if you execute this, we'll get only 16CS001 Akanksha. She is in 8th semester. If you see just class, so C16CS001, she is in 8A, and only her information is there in your IA marks table. You can see only 16CS001 is there. So that's why it will show the marks. See here 17 to 20. In first subject it is 19, so outstanding. If it is 12 to 16, then average. If it is below 12, then weak. Okay, so this is the last query. Okay. Thank you.